Hello, we're going to start in about 5 minutes. We just want to give opportunity for the other committee members to walk in. So thank you for your patience. Yes, we haven't started yet. That's why I haven't unmuted, because the meeting hasn't officially started. Okay, good evening, buenas noches. My name is Luana Ferreira. I am the chair for the Community Board 12 Parks and Cultural Affairs Committee, and we're going to start. We have a very short agenda today, but we do have an item that will require quorum for it to pass. So that item has been listed last to ensure that our board members, our committee members are here. Right now, I'm by myself. I did receive a notification from our co-chair that she is on her way. As a reminder, for quorum, we need 50% plus one of participants. Right now, we are 9 members, so we need 5 members present, or 5 out of those 5 members, we have 2 that have exemptions that can join online. Hello, how are you, Tracy?
How are you?
Good, good. Okay, we have 1 person. So I am going to call this meeting to order at 6:37 p.m. And we're going to start. I don't have any updates other than the resolution for the Morris Jamel Mansion has been written up, and we will get to that. That is item 4 on the agenda, and hopefully we will have enough people to vote on this. As a reminder, resolutions first go through the committee, and then once the committee passes, it goes up to the board also. And that next board meeting is on Tuesday, the 19th. That's just the way the procedure works. So with no further ado, I am going to call on our organizations. We're going to present program updates from our organizations. And I'm going to start with Corey Hansen from the New York Restoration Project. Corey?
Thank you so much, Chair. Hi, everyone. I hope all is well. I have a very short update. It's only real 2 things to report out on. Now that we're approaching the winter, a lot of programmatic events in our gardens like Riley Levin are slowing down, but we're already moving full steam ahead, getting our volunteers in order for next year for the Highbridge Forest Stewards program. So if anyone wants more information on how to volunteer, please check out our website, which is just nyrp.org. And we're also partnering with the New York State of Mind around Easter time to host an Easter Day event at Riley Levin. As of now, we don't have the date locked up yet, but we will definitely, once we have the date and the flyer ready, I'll report it back to the community board and I'll give a live update. Outside of those 2 things, that's all I have to report out. Any questions?
Do we have any questions? Let's see, we do have 1 question. Catherine Hughes has a question. Oh, no, Catherine Hughes is from the Jamel Mansion. I'm sorry, Catherine, I'll promote you. Yes, Catherine, you have a question. You've been promoted to panelist.
I'm so sorry. I did not have a question. It was just letting you know I'm here and I can make announcements too. Sorry.
Okay. Yes, thank you. Thank you for that. Before Corey, thank you so much for that. I had the pleasure of attending the Morris Jamel Mansion holiday party. Thank you so much for the invite. It was a wonderful, beautiful night. And just to think that we have this mansion in our community and then a fabulous holiday party. Thank you so much. Any questions for Corey? Okay, I'm going to move it along to Anthony Rojas, who visits us from the Northern Manhattan Oh, I say NOMA, but I have a difficulty recalling what the letters mean. So Anthony, please help me out. I always say NOMA, NOMA, NOMA. I know that it's Northern Manhattan Art something, and I'll write it down.
That's okay. Yeah, it's Northern Manhattan Arts Alliance.
Northern Manhattan Arts Alliance. Okay, thank you.
Of course.
Take it away, Anthony.
My name is Anthony Rojas. I'm the External Relations Coordinator and Membership Manager. I'm filling in for Martin Collins, who's usually on here. So I just want to give a little update about NOMA. As we approach the end of the year, we're really excited to relaunch our membership program, offering a brand new slate of programming, workshops, and benefits. And with this relaunch, we're hosting our first annual NOMA members holiday party, which will take place this Thursday from 6 to 8 at the United Palace, where we're located. Again, we encourage everyone to become members, even if you're not artists. As a reminder, becoming a member gives you access to our 4 studio spaces that we have available for rent, including our brand new 600 square foot photography studio, which we're really excited about. And just other resources we have discounts on merchandise and exclusive workshops and networking events coming 2024. And yeah, that's it on my end.
Thank you. Can you remind the public, where is NOMA located?
We're located at the United Palace on the second
Okay.
floor, 4140 Broadway.
Fantastic. And is this where all your exhibits take place? Or because I know that you have the Uptown Stroll, but do you have any current exhibitions right now, and where are they located?
Yes, we have our Hispanic Heritage in the Heights exhibit currently up. And it's going through January 14th, I believe. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, that exhibit is on the first floor in our gallery, and then the second floor is where we have our studios.
Okay, fantastic. Any questions for Anthony? Let's see, I don't see any hands up. Okay, let's see in the chat. Okay, fantastic. And let's see, we're going to continue with Catherine Hughes from the Morris Jamel Mansion.
Sorry, there we go. I want to just let people know about 2 different events that we have upcoming. So on December 20th, we have a virtual parlor chat that is about the exterior restoration and accessibility project. That is at 7 o'clock to 8:30. Representatives from the different groups that are part of the project will be there. They'll be doing a presentation as well as answering questions. So people can sign up for that on our website. That's morrisjamel.org. The other event we're having is on December 22nd. We are bringing back a one-man show of the Christmas Carol happening that evening at 7 p.m. So please do come buy tickets to that. Again, on our website, morrisjamel.org. Tickets are limited, so grab yours now. If anybody has any questions, let me know.
Catherine, could you just give me the date of the community chat about the event, about what's going on specifically at the mansion?
December 20th.
Thank you.
We have one more. We need 2 more for quorum. What? Sure. Oh, I started.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah. So thank you so much, Catherine, for that update. Let's see. I'm a bit confused with somebody who is visiting us from District 14, but I don't know if there's like a program update. Yes. Yeah. Did she have an update?
I was gonna.
Okay, well, so let's move it along to parks then.
All right. Hi, everyone. So I'm Chris Hyman. I'm the Deputy Administrator for Northern Manhattan Parks. I have a couple events going on.
Can you do me a favor, Chris? Can you come here, like, so the
Yeah,
camera
sure.
can see you? We have the
Yeah.
owl. I like our
Yeah, no worries.
agencies too. Yeah.
All right, good.
Okay.
All right, so we have a couple of events going on in late December and into early January. Sunday, actually, you know what? I should mention two events that were today. One was the Il Catania Payan tree lighting. It was at 4:30 today. Councilmember Abrera was present. As far as I know, everything went smoothly and lovely. And the Bennett Park menorah lighting is happening as we speak in Bennett Park. On Sunday, December 24th, Urban Park Rangers are doing a nature exploration hike at Inwood Hill Park from 1 to 2 p.m. Meet at Seaman Isham. Tuesday, December 26th, the Rangers are doing a Kids Week, Birding for Kids, also in Inwood Hill Park from 1 to 2 p.m., starting at Payson Playground. Friday, December 29th, the Rangers are continuing Kids Week with Tree ID for Kids. Inwood Hill, meet at Seaman and Isham, 1 to 2 p.m. And then on Saturday, December 30th, this is your last opportunity for the year, a Bald Eagle Watch in Inwood Hill Park, meeting at the Dykeman Marina, 348 Dykeman, 9 o'clock. Sunday, December 31st, the Rangers are doing presenting Prehistoric New York, a hike in Inwood Hill Park, meet at Seaman and Isham, 1 to 2 p.m. Then on New Year's Day, Monday, January 1st, the Rangers are doing a New Year's Day hike in Fort Tryon Park, meeting at Margaret Corbin Circle from 1 to 3 p.m. Lastly, Saturday, January 6th, Friends of Inwood Hill Park is meeting their monthly meeting at Good Shepherd Convent, 6:30 Isham from 2 to 3:30 p.m. Please RSVP by emailing friendsofinwoodhill@gmail.com. There are a couple recurring programs, Yoga and Espanol, every Tuesday, 10 a.m. at J. Hood Wright Park Rec Center. 5K running group every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 8 a.m. meeting at Margaret Corbin Circle in Fort Tryon. Forest Fitness every Tuesday, Thursday, 7:30 a.m. and Saturday at 8:30. Meeting also Margaret Corbin Circle. New York Roadrunners Open Run in Inwood Hill Park every Saturday at 9 a.m. Meeting at Seaman and Isham. And last but not least, every second Saturday at 10 a.m. A trail work and bike share party at the Hybrid BMX Jump Park that's hosted by the New York City Mountain Bike Club. 131 Fort George Avenue. And then I would like to just briefly introduce my colleague, Kelly Jordan from District 14, who represents all of Fort Washington Park north of 155th Street up to the GWB and Little Red Lighthouse. So welcome, Kelly. And I think Kelly's hoping to join us for future meetings. I don't know, Kelly, if you got anything to
How do I
want to
unmute
say
her?
hello.
How do I unmute her?
There's a
Hold
way.
on. Let's see. Hold on. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yes, Tracy to the rescue.
Yeah, no worries. Do you see her name? Is this her?
Right there,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, there you go. Welcome, Kelly.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Nice to meet everybody. Excited to join. Sorry I couldn't be there in person, but looking forward to working with everybody. I just started at the park, so looking to introduce myself and just catch up and learn what everybody's doing. So any questions for Fort Washington from 155th to 181st? I'm your person. So excited to meet everyone.
Welcome. Welcome. Okay. So any questions for parks? No, you had another person. Oh, this is just it. You had another person. This is just it. Oh, so short.
No. I mean, I got a couple other things, but this is just events.
Okay, events.
So,
Okay. So do you want to continue into?
I can, unless there's other program updates from other.
No, today the program updates list is very short, unless Jamila, who's joining us from Carmen de la Rosa's office. Let me promote her. where is she? As a reminder, meetings for participatory budgets, I think, are happening as we speak, right, Alexis?
They just started discussion.
Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yes.
And then I'll open the mic for Jamila.
Well, Jamila can speak on it.
And that could be
but
part of the chair's update, yeah. That,
my apologies for being late. I couldn't. Nobody will let me get out of my house. So the first one was on Wednesday, I believe. Am I right, Jamila? And it was an introductory on what the participatory budgeting meeting was about. What they are focusing on this year, because of the budget cuts, they are focusing on education. Unfortunately, very few people showed up. But,
hi, everyone.
Hi. But I know that the people from the Larry Neal Dog Run were there. And I think they're going to update us later on today. And I saw this one from the Girl Scouts. Is Ms. Telesco here? Did somebody from the Girl Scouts?
not that I know of.
She had been there too. But some of her stuff, well, the other people that came, it was for expense projects. And as we know, expense projects are not eligible for participatory budgeting, only capital projects are. And it has to be over a certain amount of money. And the next thing I know, they're going to be talking to people who want to be budget delegates. In other words, get the word out for the different proposals that people are putting forth.
Jamila, did you want to talk a little bit about
Jamila?
about participatory budget?
Yeah, sure. Thank you guys for bringing it up in this committee meeting. So PB, which is budgeting.
Jamila, introduce yourself, please. Your role at the
yes.
yeah, please. Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm Jamila Sandoval, Director of Community Affairs for Councilmember Carmen De La Rosa. So participatory budgeting is a council, like citywide council initiative. Council members are able to opt into the program or not. And it's using out of the 5 million that they receive for discretionary funding or capital projects, is using 1 million to allow the community to be part of the civic engagement part of aspect of it, but also make the decision making when it comes to projects in our community. So like she said, has to be like a brick and mortar type of initiative. It has to be something that lasts 5 years, that it's public to everybody, and it's like a physical thing. So it cannot be like school programming. It cannot be any type of after school programming or like a music program or nothing like that. It can be like brand new bathrooms for school, fixing of a dog run, creating of a dog run if it's within the 1 million budget. So we are focusing on education this year, on bringing our youth part of the conversation, because 11-year-olds and up are able to vote. So we want to make sure that the kids are being part of this decision making, but also get them, to understand what a city council member does, how to negotiate projects, how to talk to city agency members, and be part of the whole process from A to Z. So we are focusing on schools. We only had one community wide event, which was last week. If people are interested, they can email me, and I'll share my email on the chat. But we are going to be going to do more presentations within schools, so like their student government can get involved, or the PTA, things like that. But we're focusing on education. If I missed anything, let me know. Again, I will put my email in a moment in the chat. So if anybody has any ideas, I'll share the link that the city has created for all council members who are participating, for people to submit their ideas. And then it's 5 projects that add up to 1 million. And then there's like a voting week, which the budget delegates have to promote and get the word out, and make sure that people vote for their project. Okay.
Thank you,
Thank
Jamila.
you guys for giving me the space.
And can I ask a question, Jamila? When Council Member De La Rosa speaks about that the priority is education, does that mean that these projects have to be school related, or just have a basic educational component?
We're not going to limit it to school related, because then that's not, co-governance, that's not allowing the community to share their ideas. But we want it to be an educational component. So we want them to, if it's a dog run, and I'll use the example that came to the meeting. If it's a dog run, it's that wants to be created in Edgecombe Park, it's involving the school around it. You know, bringing the kids part of that project, having them spread the word out within their school community and also outside of the school community. And then when it comes to meeting with the agencies, having the students be part of those meetings. And when it comes to vote week and promoting it for people to come on and vote, again, the youngest person that can vote is 11 years old, is making sure that the kids are involved in that area or in the entire community. So definitely has to be related to bringing the kids into it, because we want to make sure that civic engagement is being taught if it's interested, you know, within the schools. That makes sense.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for clarifying.
Yeah,
Any questions for Jamila Sandoval with regards to regarding participatory budget?
Just me? When's the
Yeah.
next meeting, dear?
When is the next meeting, Jamila?
So we only had one community-wide meeting because again, we're doing presentations within schools.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so we're at capacity in that terms. But if anybody wants to, you know, again, contact me through email or phone, I'm willing to share my contact number and email so that we can discuss it. And there's a
Okay.
link again that can be for ideas to be submitted.
All right. All right. If you can just put your contact information, that'll be great.
Give me a few minutes and I will, for sure.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
you
thank you
put
guys.
how
Just
many
multitasking here.
Thank you. Thank you, Jamila. Can you please repeat how many proposals get accepted? This from the other computer. That's why, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Alright.
So it's a 5 project minimum, but they all have to allocate up to $1 million. So there's several projects that are 100K, and then one big project that is 600K. Sorry. If there's several, sorry, let me repeat that. If there's 3 projects that are only 100K, and the rest allocate to the 1 million, then that's fine. It has to be 5 projects that equal a total of 1 million. Let's say that one project is the one that wins and it's allocated for $1 million, then that's the one project that will be proposed. That will be part of the budget the upcoming year. So last year when we did it, 5 projects won. 3 of them were within different schools, which is so funny to now that we're focusing on education, obviously with the budget cuts. But 3 of them were focused on schools, and then 2 of them were parks, if I'm not mistaken. Like one of them, for example, was the J Hood dog run. The J Hood Wright Park, their dog run won because their project was 500K. And then the council members supplemented the other. Hope that makes sense in the way that I described it.
Yeah, I think it did. Okay, is that clarified? Any other questions for Jamila? Thank you so, so much, Jamila. We really appreciate it.
Of course. I'll be here listening.
Any questions for Jamila?
I guess just so then people can know for what year is it that the participants?
That's a good question. For what year? We're talking about 2024 or no? It has to be.
No, 5.
Is it 2025, Jamila? These projects that get they would be slated for what year?
They would be part of the 2025, because obviously 2024 is being in the process now, so it's always a year before. Mm-hmm.
Thank
and
you.
It depends on the duration of the project and all that stuff, and on the agency.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Fiscal year 25, right? That's what you.
Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. Apologies. We have Julie McCoy from the New York Canoe Club.
Hello there, this is Julie McCoy. Hopefully everyone can hear me. So I am the Commodore of the Inwood Canoe Club. If you don't know us, we actually do have a street address of 360 Dykeman, which basically puts us 200 yards south of La Marina. We are in winter, so we do not have any on-water public programming. However, we have been partnering with our good friends at the Friends of Inwood Hill Park. We actually had a shoreline cleanup this past weekend, and we have another one, according to my calendar, scheduled for January 20th. So we hope to continue these to provide opportunities for members and non-members alike to have waterfront access while doing something nice for our good friend, Mother Nature. That's all I have on the Inwood front, but our related organization, Uptown Paddling, we are planning to have some more public opportunities for youth programs. If you have someone in mind or a group in mind, please let us know. Just find our website. We've got a contact form there. But we are putting together ideas for some guided trips and organizations on that waterfront. That's my report, and I hope to see you all again soon.
Thank you so much, Julie. Any other questions? Any questions for Julie? Canoeing? Okay. I think that I'm so sorry. I keep tapping on the thing. Sorry. Okay. So I think that concludes our program updates. And now I'm going to turn it back to Chris Heitman with the official parks report.
Thank you, Luana. Again, Chris Heitman, Deputy Administrator for Northern Manhattan Parks. We are hosting Mulch Fest again this year, 2 parks in Community Board 12. J. Hood Wright Park will be a drop-off site off Fort Washington Ave and West 173rd Street. And Inwood Hill Park will be a drop-off and shipping site inside the park at Isham and Seaman. So I think if you guys have participated in this before, they ask that you remove all tinsel and ornaments and all of that and bring your
Which was the, you said J Hood, right?
J. Hood Wright
Where's
and
the Mulch Fest?
Inwood Hill.
And Inwood had what
That's-
else besides?
Just those 2.
Just Inwood. Okay.
Yeah, at Isham and Seaman. As some of you may have seen on bus shelters and around the city, lifeguard recruitment for summer 2024 is underway. There's a qualifying exam, vision and swim test. You can sign up at nyc.gov/parks/lifeguards. There are qualifying exams at the Chelsea Rec, Gertrude Ederle, and Seward Park pools in Manhattan, and other boroughs as well. Then the lifeguard training program, provided you qualify, is 40-hour training program, and at the end you have to go through a CPR exam and both swim and written tests. For those who are interested, who don't think they can necessarily make the swim qualifying, Parks is also hosting a swimming improvement program every Saturday through March 30th at Constant Baker Motley Recreation Center. You can find more information about that and the whole program at nyc.gov/parks/lifeguards. I think my colleague Jenna Lessord, our administrator, mentioned the Let's Green initiative and gave an overview. This is Parks's volunteer initiative. We're hoping to engage a record number of volunteers in our parks as part of our efforts to improve the health and well-being of New Yorkers and their green spaces. And we'll present in more detail on that program in January. Out in our parks on December 1st, we hosted, along in partnership with Councilmember Carmen De La Rosa's office, a successful and initial community volunteer day in Amelia Gorman Park. This is part of our efforts to reclaim and reopen Amelia Gorman Park. We had about 15 volunteers, planted hundreds of bulbs that will be coming up in the spring along the upper portion of the park, along Wadsworth Terrace. We had staff remove about 10 bags of trash, 2 tires, and a television from behind the wall. And we will be hosting additional volunteer days starting in the new year. And we have our Parks Enforcement Police and NYPD continue to do increased monitoring at the site daily and offer services to individuals in the park who may need them. A quick update on the Inwood Nature Center. We know there's been a lot of interest because the construction fence has come down. That is primarily just so the finishing touches can be done around the building, including some paving around the perimeter of the site. There's still some work going on inside the site, and everybody wants to know when it's going to open. We understand, we're super excited as well, and the Rangers are extremely excited. We anticipate reopening the restrooms in early 2024. And we believe that the Rangers will be moving back in soon thereafter in the first quarter of the year. They're still waiting on some furniture and other things. And then the exhibitions and all of the public programs that that the Rangers do, all of that work is still going to be a little further out because we're in the process of contracting with the designer and fabricator for all the exhibits with animals and all the interpretive exhibits that will be in the nature center. So we ask you, we appreciate everybody's patience and understand everybody's excitement. And so that's, things are coming soon in 2024. And that's all I got. Are there any questions?
Yes.
Alexis?
I don't know if this has come up, but this was Sally Fisher's, she loved the Inwood Nature Center. It was just, like, really important to her, the late, great Sally Fisher. Is there anything that any part of this nature center that we can do, a plaque or something to honor her?
That is a great question. I will pass it along and we'll
This was really her pet
take
project,
that
I
under
think.
consideration.
Do we have to wait like 2 more years for it to
Hey,
name
it's
something after her?
Sally, man. Come
Yeah.
on.
Update on the department, I'm sorry.
I was like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm so sorry.
when was that she passed?
It was just a year
That'd be
ago.
nice to find somewhere
Yeah.
where they're really connected to
It
it.
was just a year ago, and she worked so hard and fought so hard for that.
Any questions for Chris?
I have a question.
Danny? Yeah.
The Amelia Gordon Park cleanup. You have any dates or you have any information or you have anything that you can give out to have people find out about it so I can tell some other people about it? Because there's a running crew that they do cleanups every like once a month. So I wonder,
we would love to connect with them.
yeah, I
100%.
wonder- it's like they're called the cleanup project, I think, but it's a person that does it. So I wonder if she would be willing to do it, and also the run crew that I go with, if they'll be willing to go like once or twice a month or something like that.
That would be amazing.
So
We
that's
don't have any new dates set, so let's talk
Yeah.
offline. We have one other's
Yeah.
contact, and
Okay.
that'd be great to partner on that.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Chris? There's a couple in the chat. That we have a question in the chat with regards to a robbery. Can you confirm that? So even though this is a parks issue, I'm going to read the question, but this is also a question for the Public Safety Committee. But I'm still going to read it. Is it true that an armed robbery occurred at 10 a.m. on Sunday in Bennett Park? Chris, did you hear anything about that?
I did hear something about this,
Right.
and we reached out to our Parks Enforcement Police, and they reached out to the 34th Precinct. And
Right.
As of an hour ago, there was no police report or confirmed robbery in Bennett Park. That's not to say it didn't happen,
Right.
but the precinct did not have a report, and our PEP officers had not been asked to respond, so they did not have a report either.
Exactly. But like I said, this is a question more for public safety, even though the incident did happen in the park. All right. Is there anything being done to address the homeless encampments in Inwood Hill Park?
Yes, I believe we actually have an encampment removal scheduled for next week in Inwood Hill Park. Typically, there's some outreach that goes on to individuals in the park, and it takes quite a bit of coordination between, again, our PEP officers, NYPD, the Department of Health, and our maintenance and operations divisions. So we want to make sure that the person or individuals know that, something is essentially encampment removal is coming down the line, and services are offered. But sometimes that takes quite a bit of time to set up. So we're aware of the encampments. If there are additional ones, they can be reported to 311 or directly to Parks, and we'll investigate along with our PEP officers and take action as necessary.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that. Go ahead, Alexis.
Yeah. Like, who are you? So I know you're working with the officers, but it's just want to make sure that everybody uses the right language when
Yes.
we're talking about this. It's somebody's home. Might not to people who see it, they might not consider that, but it's to them that area in and around that park is their home. I would call upon the guys over at, Washington Heights Corner Project or, Harm Reduction Center. Yeah, On Point.
Yes.
I've worked with them. They helped me. We, work with people that were in Marcus Garvey Park.
Mhm.
So I just wanted to make sure that people just understand that for some people, it's better to live in the street than go to a shelter. So I just ask that people be really mindful of that, and we have to be really kind when we're removing it, no aggression, and to ask people in the community to just remember that if somebody tries to go and take it out themselves, that's considered actually robbing because it's their home.
Yeah, it's a very strict protocol that we have to follow for these procedures. So you're right, and we do work with On Point very closely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way.
You had a question?
Yeah. I'm actually homeless myself, sir. You're the Northern Manhattan Administrator.
Deputy Administrator, correct?
Jennifer Oldbush, no longer.
No, she's no longer in Northern Manhattan Parks. She still continues to work for Parks, however.
My whole thing is Parks is doing really good. Sanitation and Parks are doing really well.
Thank you.
My question is concerned is federally, how are we going to establish homelessness if that is? And second of all, why does Park and Recs and New York City have to deal with the federal government behavior? Issues and issues, actual why they get them back to their behavior?
I mean, I think that's a good question. That is considerably above my.
I know it's above you, but I'm just saying, Park and Recs are doing really good.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
I'm being honest. They're doing
Appreciate
really
it.
well.
Thank you.
But also, if I can interrupt before, that's also, there's another committee where those questions can also be addressed with regards to funding and that's the housing committee. Okay, so yeah. So I'm quite sure that whereas we are parks and we respond to issues pertaining to parks and expenditures pertaining to parks and cultural affairs, the issue and the question of housing and building more affordable housing, there's a separate committee for that has more answers than we have, for example.
It's not about housing, it's more about homelessness in itself. Where do you think in the future, if we're going to continue to allow homelessness to exist, wouldn't Park and Recs be penetrated further? You know, for the future of this generation, I think young men have needs that are still pushed further back. So they're going to be more dependent. Right now, the average is they're saying 30 for males to become independent. I would say that's inaccurate. I'd say it's probably 35. But the whole thing is that if it is that way, you're going to have a lot of people that have more independence. So you'll see it's like homelessness, and then it's going to be like obviously so obviously I don't know if you're right, the shelter in New York City. So you could still be homeless.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But in Jersey, they don't have it. The only reason why I bring it up is because Park and Recs has become an area that's targeted by homeless people.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate your question, and sorry I don't have a better answer for you.
Yeah.
Or a public email or something.
I can, sure. So my email address, and I don't
You can
know
put
if
it
I
in the
can put
chat.
it into the chat.
Yeah, go ahead,
So
everyone.
I'll say it, but I'll put it in the chat as well.
Yeah.
So it's Christopher, CHRISTOPHER. Dot Heitman, HEITMANN at parks.nyc.gov. And I'm putting it into the chat right now.
Okay, and
Just so you're aware, I think
Yeah.
Housing and even though Housing and Human Services, I think they meet up every first week Thursday.
Give them the calendar.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also human services.
Do you mind if you write that down on the piece of paper? You mind if you write that down on a piece of
I'm
paper?
happy to do that, sure.
I know, I promoted her, yeah. Okay, thank you. And before we continue, I'm going to digress a little bit because I totally forgot to call during our programming segment on Johnny Gonzalez from Jazz Power Initiative. Johnny?
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to share with us what we're doing in Jazz Power Initiative. I'm Hani Gonzalez Velasquez. I'm the Senior Director of
I'm
Business.
sorry, Hani. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that's fine. That's fine. No worries. And I'm the Senior Director of Business Affairs with Jazz Power Initiative. We're a nonprofit located in 5030 Broadway. So that's 213 with Broadway. But we're all over Uptown Manhattan doing a lot of amazing free and low cost programming for youth, for audiences, general audiences, seniors, and educators. And we have an exciting thing to share with you. We're going to be at actually Alianza Dominicana Cultural Center, which is right there, tomorrow at 7 p.m. So that's December 13 at 7 p.m. with an ode to Maestro Eddie Palmieri. We're going to be featuring the All City High School Latin Ensemble with 19 students performing the heck of Palmieri songs, and they're going to be led by Alberto Toro and Steven Oquendo, they're going to be joined by Zakai Curtis, the pianist Zakai Curtis, and Lucas Curtis, who is a bassist. That's going to be amazing. I'm sure that it's going to be amazing. So I would love for you to come to that event tomorrow at 7 p.m. And then we're also going to be with Zakai Curtis Quintet at National Jazz Museum in Harlem on Saturday at 4 p.m. So I can send you all the information, Luana. I think I sent you the flyer, but if you need any more information, I can send it. Yeah, yes. And one of our colleagues is right there, actually, Emily Carpio, can say hi. She's our program assistant. And if you have one more information, she can give it out to you as well.
Thank you. Yes. And you have my email already. Yes. Thank you so much for that presentation. I love Eddie Palmieri. I've seen him at the Blue Note. And also please make sure that you forward this to our district manager, Ebenezer, because he can then get that into the listserv that will reach to the entire community. Okay.
Amazing. Is that Ebenezer Smith by any chance?
Yes, it is.
Awesome. Okay. I'll send him to him. Mm-hmm.
What's that again?
No, if you could just put my, I'll leave the notes from from the chats for notes. Everything she just said. Like, if she could send me what you just the calendar also to me, so when I do my notes. That's all.
Okay. Yeah. Send it to me. I'll send it to you. Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Hani.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Luana. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So with no further ado, unfortunately, we do not have quorum, but we can still discuss the resolution. Yes, we can discuss it. But then that means that what happens, I think we have to wait then for it to pass to the next committee meeting. But nonetheless, we can have it cleaned up and, contact our colleagues to make sure they are present, to make sure that this resolution matters, it is important, and it needs to be passed. So I have copies of it. You have
Does anyone need copies? I'm happy to hand them out.
Yeah. So did you want to lead this, Alexis, or do you want me to? I'll lead it. Okay. So in the past, in the last meeting, the November meeting, we had some very concerned members of the community come to discuss the current state of affairs with the Morris Jumel Mansion. And this came on the heels of the New York Times article that was published on October 29, 2023. And we want to be supportive as community members, but also be supportive as a committee and also members of this community of the concerns that arose as a product of the article being published. And also because this is one, I think it's the oldest house in Manhattan. I thought it was Dyckman House, but this is the oldest house with landmark status. So we proudly present to you a resolution, although unfortunately we don't have quorum to pass it. Nonetheless, we can discuss it, make amendments, and then put it up during the next meeting for a vote. So I'm going to read it for those of you that are online. And again, if you want a copy, it's not on letterhead yet, because part of the protocol is that it needs to be in draft form, no letterhead, before it becomes official. If it's on letterhead, then it means that it is official. Okay, so resolution in support of the preservation and maintenance of the Morris Jumel Mansion. Whereas the Morris Jumel Mansion, MJM, is located at 65 Jumel Terrace, New York, 10030.
32.
What? 32. What did I say?
Doesn't matter, girl. We moving on.
I'm so sorry. 10032. Apologies. Whereas the mansion was granted landmark status by the New York City Landmarks Preservation Commission in 1967 and subsequently designated an interior landmark in 1975. Whereas a New York Times article dated October 29, 2023, brought to the forefront important concerns regarding the condition and renovation, I don't know if you want to use renovation or restoration, but of the mansion. Whereas an incident and funding timeline has been submitted by concerned members of the community during the Community Board 12 Parks and Cultural Affairs meeting on November 12, 2023, be it resolved that the mansion holds a public meeting to provide the community with updates regarding upcoming capital projects. Be it further resolved that the mansion leadership provides the public with a robust plan for outreach to the community at large. And be it finally resolved that the mansion works closely and collaboratively with the community and stakeholders to provide ongoing updates regarding the restoration of what Duke Ellington once called the jewel. Hold on, I have my notes here because I misquoted. The jewel in the crown of Sugar Hill. I think that's what it was. So do we have any suggestions? Yes, Tracy.
I just wanted to bring up whether or not in the 5th paragraph, if something needs to be added in terms of like a date deadline. Let me explain why. Is that it says, be it resolved that the Morris Jumel Mansion holds a public meeting to provide community updates regarding the upcoming capital projects. That is an open-ended statement. So if they do it,
It's been scheduled.
no, I know it's been scheduled.
Oh, you do.
But my point is for this to be a resolution and for the resolution to be fulfilled, it needs to be done by a particular day. And let me give you an example of what I mean. Let's say there is a date for this event. Maybe let's say December 20th, 2023. Maybe. But let's say this doesn't get passed until January for whatever reason. Then what happens is now there's like a new, it doesn't say whether or not the Morris Jumel Mansion has actually fulfilled its obligation. Therefore, by having, this is a suggestion, by having a deadline, then Morris Jumel Mansion could say, Ayo, because of course that'd be the language they use. We fulfilled this on December 20th. Or I'm just sort of saying it's a little open-ended. Food for thought.
Right. I don't know if we can dictate deadlines though.
Fair enough.
Because that's why I use, do you remember the resolution that was passed to bring down the scaffolding by
168?
By 168. Like, I'm taking that as guidance. We weren't able to say that this scaffold needs to come down by this date, right? I don't know that we can dictate that, but we can say this poses a threat to public safety and we want it down as soon as possible or as soon as whatever construction fulfillments are met, whatever that is. So that's why I use, updates regarding capital projects because it should be ongoing. Well, yeah.
Would be one of the words that I would put in.
Yeah, I was gonna say
ongoing updates.
I was gonna say,
Danny.
It would be cool if you put like quarterly public meetings or monthly, because at least it holds them accountable.
Right.
If they're gonna already give us updates, at least say every 2 months or every bi-monthly or just something. At least when they do give us it, we're expecting it to happen at least sometime.
Right. Well, this is why it's murky, because I would need guidance from the district to see if we can mandate that as a community board, if we can mandate that with specificity. If we say ongoing, then ongoing is a little bit more broad. Then we can come to sort of like a discussion what constitutes ongoing, like Camille said, right? But I don't know if as a community board, we can dictate to this organization how often we want the updates.
Okay.
Right? So, but again, this is not going to pass tonight because of lack of quorum. This is still up for discussion, and we would need guidance for that. And that's why I sought guidance from Kathy, our chair, to see like how we can word this in a way that is feasible within the parameters of how community boards with partnerships work together.
Yeah, because I would think that they're still gonna have to give us some kind of updates. So I don't know, I would maybe put like a suggested, like if it would say a suggested
Right.
time period or something like that.
And even when we change the language can change again at the general board meeting, because now it still has to go through the general board meeting.
Okay.
Yes.
So can we say suggested monthly updates?
Like I said, we're not sure that we can do that yet. That's why we cannot add it right now. We can ask if we can mandate specific dates from a community entity. Okay. Yeah, Tracy. Does that make sense though? I just want to make sure, because I also don't want to set, if we do this for one entity, then that sets a precedent that we can do it with other entities. And remember that the purpose of community boards is to work together with organizations. Yeah, Tracy.
I was just to go back to paragraph 5. Another suggestion would be regarding the upcoming capital projects as listed in blah, blah, blah. And I guess what I mean is that this, again, is open-ended, and I know right now there's like, certain number of capital projects, but I guess what I'm saying is that it needs to be clear when this is fulfilled. So some sort of language identifying, paragraph 5, where it says capital projects as listed in wherever it's actually appropriately listed.
You want to do that research?
Sure. I can do it. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I can email it to you.
Great. Yeah. That would be great.
Right.
Or you can add it. The document has been shared on Gmail.
Bet.
Yeah. Yes.
I think
Time out. Before you talk, could you say your name? I think because this is a public meeting, you're supposed to state who you are. I'm sorry, just for the rules.
Yeah.
My name is Camilla Huey. I'm a Morris Jumel Neighborhood Association member and Jumel Terrace Historic District resident for 20 years. I think what my neighbors and the community were interested in when this presentation began is a conviction to action, because that's what's been missing over the decade that we've been waiting. Can there be a conviction to action? Because all of this is rather polite and vague language, and getting to the specifics is what's needed before we lose another column.
Okay. So I understand the urgency for specifics, but the committee is taking its guidance from previous resolutions. Like, for example, when the Hispanic Society was on strike, we wrote a resolution, but we did not mandate by when contracts should be signed, by when. We're just expressing a concern. We want updates. We want some kind of, like I said, and this is why usually when it comes to this, language is very vague, because like I said, I'm uncertain to the level that we can mandate something from an entity. In the case of the Hispanic Society, the resolution was, please amicably try and find the best possible good faith resolution among union members and the society so that the museum can finally open up again for the community. Right? So that's where we took our guidance because, like I said, we can try and rework it. Like I said, it's not going to pass tonight, but we take our guidance from other resolutions. We take our guidance from the chair. And like I said, it's coming from a place that we don't know if we can actually mandate specific dates and all of that and timelines and all of that. So yeah, Tracy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But to speak to the issue of specificity, maybe if you want to, what could be proposed, and like I said, one of the ways we could get to specificity, we could say is as listed in wherever it's listed, either with the Historic Society or so forth and so on. Or we could also, after capital projects, you could say something like specifically the steps, the columns, and list out the 4 or 5 specific, pressing ones that are currently under review. And I'm sorry, I'm personally speaking vaguely, but I don't have the specifics. So I'm just trying to sort of drill down to what I'm hearing issues about, maybe to make this less, for lack of a better word, milquetoast and a little bit more verbose.
I love it. So because Danny, I'm so sorry, Danny. Am I ignoring you or Danny, go ahead.
I was waiting until she was done.
Go
I have
ahead.
a question. Isn't it, if I'm not mistaken, if we don't have quorum today, can they pass this on the 14th on the executive committee?
I don't think so.
No,
it has to go through the committee first. I believe, yeah. But I can find out and inform the committee.
I thought we had to,
Yeah.
Like how does that work? If because we haven't had quorum in like,
is this for
like 3-4 months?
Sure.
It kind of sucks.
Yeah.
So like when something like this comes up, who does pass this?
Like I said, I can, well, that would be a Jim Berlin, for the parliamentarian. Yeah, that would be a question for him.
That's what I thought, where it was just like, oh, we don't have quorum today, but since we wrote this as well as we could, we're gonna push this onto the executive committee. And
I can ask.
And they could pass it there.
I can ask. I haven't heard such a thing, but I will ask.
Because they could be like, if that's that's like a thing, if that's a thing, then I wonder how well we can kind of write this between them and the 14th, which is like.
Well, yeah, but remember that even if it gets passed through us or through the executive committee, if that's the case, it still has to pass in the general board meeting, which is the 19th. The 19th, and even there, it will get rewarded. Because remember when there was a resolution in youth, right? It passed at the youth committee where they wanted to lower the voting age, and the resolution had to be reworked at the board, at the general board level. For example, they said that research shows, and then I presented the concern that you cannot say research without citing the source.
I remember that day, yeah.
Okay. Oh, somebody has their hands up of the attendees. Okay. All right, I'm sorry. Okay, let me see. Let me pause so that I can read from the chat. See, I had it correct. Oh, the crown jewel. Okay, so that can be rewarded, what Duke Ellington said. Can't we ask Parks Department for bi-monthly updates on the progress? I don't know if the mention falls under the purview of Parks. That would be landmarks. Or historical house trust. Yes, that the mansion itself does not fall under Parks. It falls under historical mansion trust.
Historic house trust.
I'm sorry, historic house trust.
Which is Parks.
Well, it's separate entities.
Yeah, go ahead, Alexis.
I don't mean to interrupt.
No, you're not interrupting.
It's a license. that's between, it's Roger Morris Park,
Mm-hmm.
and it's from the plaster outside is.
Right.
Parks, and the plaster inside is MJM.
Yes, but I think that this question relates to the updates with renovations, and I don't know that Parks has jurisdiction over that. That's what I mean. Oh, I'm sorry. Parks is here, Chris.
No, that's okay.
Did I articulate that correctly?
Right, that would be Historic House Trust.
Exactly.
That would be able to provide an update. I mean,
Which, when they were interviewed by the Times, they said, we're Parks. Talk to Parks.
All right.
Rather than answering the question.
What's that? Say that again. I'm sorry. I was reading a
The head of
question
the
here.
Historic House Trust
Right.
told the writer, Gina Belafonte, that, well, I am Parks. Talk to Parks. Yeah, don't. that
Yeah.
I
think the
Historic-
question that
she
is
couldn't
being,
answer the question that she sent Gina to Parks. So it's around, it's chasing.
right. So I just wanted to address this specific question because I think, and this is Catherine Fritz who's asking this. Yes, what we're talking about is.
To read the question out loud.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I will.
Sorry.
Yeah. So the responsibility for the mansion is with the Parks Department, not the MJA. We're trying to establish to what extent the restoration and the capital projects contained within the park would fall under the purview of Parks or the trust. And I think it's been clarified. The mansion is owned by the city and under the jurisdiction of the Parks Department and the HHT together. All right, so I guess that is a question that we need to clarify. Who can report other than the trustees and the board of directors and the executive director? Okay, I guess this is a better way to phrase it. Can Parks report on the restoration of the mansion?
I mean, we could certainly request an update from Historic House Trust and ask if we could present that on their behalf. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
We could, I don't know, on what level we could do that, but.
Okay,
We could certainly.
so we can certainly find that out. Great, all right.
You can ask Catherine Hughes.
Okay.
Well, who's going to be present on the 20th?
Catherine, do you have some answers for us?
I think also Johnny has a hand up. too.
Yeah. Oh, you know what, Hani? I'm sorry. Yes, Hani.
Oh, hi. This is Hani again from Jazz Power Initiative. I wanted to tell you something about the previous what you were talking about, like subject to regular updates by the organization. But I definitely see in other resolutions, even though that you're not adding it in, as resolved, like as a request, you do add the timeline in some way in the whereas section, like when you're explaining your point. So I think that, whatever timeline of the project that you have from the contracts that they had or the reports that they have told you, I think that needs to be added in the resolution in some way so that it shows that was the original plan or something. So I'm not sure if that makes any sense, but.
Yeah, it makes sense. But like I said, since the resolution is not going to pass tonight, we will work on the rewording, provided we have the guidance of other community board members, including our chair, because we also want to be very cautious what is within our purview and what is not within our purview. Okay.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Catherine, I think you have some answers for us.
Okay, so the people who are going to be at the virtual parlor chat are Danielle Monopoly, who works for the Historic House Trust and the Parks Department, both. She is the project manager. So she will be talking. You will hear a presentation from Wayne Benjamin from our board, who will update people and give them the span of the project from the very beginning to now. Danielle will be addressing what is happening right now, and we are trying to work out who will be able to represent the architecture firm, because a couple of scheduling problems have arisen. So we're hoping that we can have somebody who will represent the architects. But the program management is the key, because that is what is moving the project along. We are, the advocates as the organization for the work that needs to get done.
Okay.
I hope that makes it clear.
Understood.
I have Danny. It's Camille, right?
No.
Camila. Danny, Camila, and then Alexis. And also, full transparency, one of the trustees of the mansion is also Wayne Benjamin. He's also a Community Board 12 member as well.
Van Hughes,
So yeah,
Chairperson of Van Hughes.
yeah. Sorry.
I wanted to kind of a little bit piggyback off of Hani, what she said, because I was like reading, trying to find just another resolution, and there is a resolution, I think in probably the basketball court or just any one of the parks. There's a whereas in there where they've given us the information of the timeline, and we put that in there from what they've given us. And I think last time we were here, she's I forgot who was it, the person that was making that presentation, but she spoke about that they had like a timeline or something like that. They had things happening on certain times. And she also said that, if I'm not mistaken, that we're gonna give you these things. Like we're gonna give you these. So, and I could also show you from the striking workers resolution here. So you can kind of just like,
I don't want to spend if everybody agrees, like I said, because the resolution is not going to pass tonight because of quorum, I don't want to get hung up on trying to revamp this when it's not even going to pass tonight. We can go back, incorporate it, I'll circulate it among the committee members again, and then present it. But right now, what we should be focusing is getting as many people as possible into the mansion to get informed on this December 20 meeting. All right. How does that? Yes, Alexis, you had.
Yeah. So the virtual parlor chat. I think, and again, you're going to find this out, but it is important to know. There has been too much vagueness for too long, which is, I think, is something that has to be somehow incorporated into this resolution, because I think what the community is trying to say, we've all been living with the vagueness since about 2014. And we need to get, we need to get a little, work with Catherine to get a more specific timeline. Like, for example, okay, will you have the bids by March? Things like that. Not an exact date, but I guess what I'm trying to say is we need to make something that, because everything we've been told has been vague for so long, we have to figure out how we can get a little, if I'm saying this word right, specificity in here if we can.
Specificity.
Okay. All right. Any other questions that are not resolution related? Because at this point, talking about the resolution is like beating a dead horse right now. Yes.
If on the December 20th parlor chat, the architect is not participating, and you stressed the importance of project management, who is going to be speaking for the architect and who is representing project management?
Catherine?
I just said that will be Danielle Monopoly. And also you will have additional panelists coming on to answer questions. So we have Steve Simon, Gail Brewer, and Meredith Horsford, who is the director of the Historic House Trust.
Right.
Oh, no, I think do you mean, Camilla, about there's no report from the architecture firm? Is that what you're referring to?
Yes.
Okay, so she wasn't talking about who was the project manager. He said we are trying to work out who will report from the architecture firm.
Correct.
So I guess, and forgive me for trying to interpret what you're saying, Camilla. Is that what you're asking? You would like to know why?
Well, I would like to know who's stepping
Yeah,
out
or
for the architect.
or why has
I think she answered that. Did she answer it?
No, she didn't.
So, Catherine, I guess we need more specificity in terms of what is it? Who is it who's representing the architectural firm?
What I said was that we don't know right now. We are trying to figure out who that might be. Somebody is sick, and so we've had a change. I mean, it's not anything that I can answer at this very moment.
Yes.
Yeah, Catherine, you said Gail Brewer is connected with this project. What would Gail Brewer's role be in this, as the former president of the borough?
She was part of the support as the former borough president for the project. So she was really instrumental in the beginning.
So was Robert Jackson when he was a councilman.
Yeah, I mean, many people have been throughout the history of the project, but Gail offered to be part of the virtual parlor chat.
So thank you also, Catherine Fritz. Totally agree that we need specificity, but need to make sure we are aiming at the organization that is actually responsible, which I believe is Historic House Trust, part of Parks, not Morris Jumel Mansion. That is just a comment in our chat. At this point, I also, before we ask any further questions, I think right now the priority is to attend this meeting, this very, very important meeting on December 20th, because that is when we can ask the important questions. We can ask about the most pressing issues to the people that will be at the forefront of this new phase of the mansion. So yes, Danny.
Can you give all like the full information for December 20th, like where?
She's got it on the website, yeah.
Cool.
She's got
It was also announced earlier, so. Gentle.
Yeah. So Catherine, one more time, can you please repeat? I know it's December 20th at what time?
7 o'clock to 8:30. It is going to be, you can register for it through our website. So just go to the morrisjumel.org website and you'll see the registration and you can click on that. It will go to Eventbrite. We have at this moment, well, at least earlier when I looked, about 90 people registered for the virtual parlor chat.
Do you have a limit?
I'm hoping that we paid for an unlimited amount. So hopefully that allows us anything.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So I'm just thinking, because I know sometimes they only allow about 100.
Yeah, that's the free one, or the $10 one now. But we paid $50, so I hope it's unlimited.
And will you post it on the website after? So if people can't get on or you're over capacity, you'll post it on your website.
That's a good question. In other words, is it going to be live stream or recorded and then posted?
Yeah, it will be recorded so everybody can see it on the recording too. We post all of our virtual parlor chats to our YouTube channel so that you can see any of them.
Okay. Yes, Camila.
So one thing that neighborhood people have been talking about is that you're asking for all the questions to be asked before the chat. And that means that we won't be able to ask any questions about the information.
We're inviting people to do the questions ahead of time if they wish. That doesn't mean that you can't ask a question during it. We'll be fielding the questions through the Q&A function. So it's both.
Thank you. Any other questions?
I just had one about the, are we there? I don't know. We don't, I just want to have.
No, about this.
No, about that particular one?
Any questions, any other pending questions about this particular issue before we move to the next item?
Thank you.
Okay.
Just for, was it be it further resolved, the MGM leadership provides the public with a robust plan for outreach to the community at large.
Yep, but we're not talking about the resolution anymore. We move past that because the resolution is not passing tonight. That's why, because then we're going around in circles for something that's not passing tonight anyway. We're going to reformulate it and then present it during the next meeting. Okay. All right. So does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So with that said, I think I had one more, and my apologies. I think I had one more announcement from an organization, and I'm trying to scroll up. I'll present it during new business. We have old business, and that is Allison Landy with an update on the dog run.
Hi, how are you guys?
Good, good.
Thanks for having me. Avatar apologizes. He had to work late tonight. But let me give you a little bit of an update. So we have met with the Parks Department and we are in contact with them. We're hoping to get someone out to visit the site that we are looking to open the dog park on, and that's on Edgecombe and 160th for people that don't know. So we're looking to do a site survey in January. We're also hoping to get a fundraiser going at some point from January to March in order to just fund these initial steps in getting the park the dog run put up. We did attend the participatory budget meeting, which was really great. Just very knowledgeable on the steps and processes. So we are going to attempt, to get on the ballot and vote. We are looking at the educational aspects that we can add to the park in order to, work with Carmen De La Rosa's office. We did meet a Cassandra, who is the Inwood Girl Scout. And so we're hoping to remain in contact with her. She does a lot of programs. One of the things that she's doing coming up is an opiate addiction seminar. And so we're hoping to attend that. And then eventually maybe we can bring some of those different things into the park, or maybe have her girls come in and earn badges, etc., help with cleanup and maintenance. Also, in regards to education, we are hoping to touch base with the high schools. We know that there is a mandatory community service hours in order to graduate. So we're hoping that with the local schools, we can come up with a program that and work with them, and so they can get their hours, as well as maybe overall just have classes that are teaching about how to raise a pet safety, things like that. We hope, at least especially for the younger generation of kids, just how to take care of your pet. So let me see. So that's pretty much all that we have at the moment updated.
Thank you for that, Allison. And I might have some good news for you. I actually had a discussion about how to go about these projects with this dog run. And you can collaborate with us and have an actual public hearing so that you get engagement and you can propose why there is a need to have this dog run by your proposed area. So more than happy to talk to you about that and have some and give you guidance based on the guidance that I got, because I do debrief on these meetings. I do want to do we do want to do a good job, but also for my learning as chair. So if you have, I have put my email in the chat, so feel free to contact me and we can have a discussion about how to go about that. And then it would be the first public meeting in 2023 for Parks and Cultural Affairs. Yeah, what? 2024. Yeah, 2024. Oh my
That's great.
goodness.
Thank you.
Thank you, Allison. Any questions for Allison?
I have one quick one.
Yes.
If members of the community want to support this initiative, what should they do?
So we do have a petition going. I can potentially add that to to the chat. But also we are working to get a nonprofit set up. So unfortunately at the moment, those things will be coming later once we sort of establish the fundraiser and establish ourselves as a nonprofit. And that's something that we're working to have finished in the beginning. But if I will, I'm happy to give out our email, and if anyone has any questions or concerns or wants to help out, you know, we're an open group, and we would love the help.
So can you tell everybody, because you have that petition on change.org, right?
Mm-hmm.
And is it, if we go on change.org, do we look under Larry Neal Dog Run?
Yes, that should be it. Let me just look. I have it saved.
While you do that, Allison, Camila has a question.
Yeah.
For pursuing nonprofit status, a great umbrella to get under is called Fractured Atlas.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I use them. I have my company in the grid.
So the petition is actually Dog Run, and then in parentheses is Edgecombe 160th to 162nd. But that's just, you know, part of it. We do, like I said, have an email. So if anyone does want to reach out, it's lnealdogrun@gmail.com. I'm happy to get on the phone and hear, you know, what you have to say, any advice, any of it.
Can you type that in the chat also, Allison, please? Thank you. Any other questions? And my apologies to the Hudson River Community Sailing. If this is an announcement, you can go ahead and make a program announcement. But if it's a presentation, then I think we have a little bit of time. But are you still there, Hudson River RB? Hudson River? No. So my apologies for that. Okay, then. So as a reminder, if you want to be, oh, okay, yes. Do you have an announcement?
Who is this, Jim?
This is, hold on, it just scrolled down. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on one second. Hold on. I promoted you, RB. Apologies. Where is it? Oh, you know what? I can search it. Okay, Robert. Oh, there it is, Robert Berg. All right, Robert. My apologies, Robert, you are on.
Yes. Hi. Thank you, Chair. I do have a short presentation, so if you think it's
okay
to wait, you
sure.
have 8 minutes.
About five. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Yes, you did email me. My apologies. So we did old business. This can go under new business. Present away.
Okay. Can you give me access to just present I have a short presentation.
Yes. There you go.
What is it from the Hudson?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Robert, can you please, again, from what organization are you from? I was going to take minutes. Anyway, I go.
I'm from Hudson River Community Sailing. We're at the Dykeman Marina.
Sailing.
And I have a short, PowerPoint presentation just to bring you up to speed on who we are and sort of where we're at. So
Thank you.
If it's possible to get permission to present.
Yes, I already gave you, yeah,
Okay.
share. Yes, you're on.
Okay, I'm trying to present here. Let me just see.
I already enabled, share screen.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just not getting it. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not getting an option to share my screen. Let's see.
Hold on. Multiple participants can share simultaneously. Promote to panelists.
Join as a panel.
See if you're able.
Should enable him to be.
I know, yeah. Apologies, technology.
That's okay.
Oh, there you are.
Okay, let me see if I can
Okay.
share.
You should be able to.
Yeah, it's getting there.
All
All
right.
right.
All right, let me just go up.
Oh, this is, I already love it. Yes.
Okay. So first of all, I just want to thank the committee for allowing me to present. And, HRCS couldn't do what it does without volunteers. So I really appreciate your volunteering. And we had 2,000 plus hours of volunteers, and I know it's a lot of work. So thank you. We've been at this meeting and presented a number of times, and but I just wanted to bring you up to date on where we're at. And it's been a little bit. So we have 2 locations, Chelsea and Inwood and Dyckman Marina. Our mission is to develop leadership and academic success in New York City youth through partnerships with public schools, and then maritime education and recreation to the city at large. We believe that everyone can learn to sail, and that sailing and boats and being on the water has a lot of opportunities for growth and discovery. So that's a little bit about who we are. We were founded in 2008. We made it up to Inwood in about 2015, 2016. We have 22 full-time staff and 50 seasonal staff, including a lot of youth from our programs. We're about a $2 million budget. And just as my professional experience, I helped when Salome Arena IS 218 was opening up up in Dyckman. Up in Broadway in the early 90s. I helped them set up outdoor programs in the neighborhood. I worked with Children's Aid and New York City Outward Bound. So I've been familiar in working in the neighborhood. And then when I had the opportunity to come back in 2015 with my own organization, that was one of the reasons I came up there. And on a personal note, my grandfather was an assistant super up in Washington Heights when he emigrated here from northern Spain. So.
What? Just giving a little town shout out.
Our big program is Sail Academy. And we really think through STEM and leadership education and different supports to college and internships and career preparation. We can really make a difference in young people's lives and help close some of the achievement gaps. So in Inwood, we have about 100 students from 5 schools. And in Chelsea, we have about 150 students from 9 public schools. The kids do not pay to be in the programs. The schools pay a fee to be in partnership with us. These are year-round programs. So some of the activities in these programs, people think of sailing, but sailing is part of the year. But we do robotics, we do boat building, environmental science. These students are trying their robotics over at the SUNY Maritime Pool. And we do a lot of social emotional learning. So these are some of our partner schools uptown. Again, Salome Arena was our first big partner, and we continue to work with them. We've expanded to Atmosphere and Harlem schools, and now Amber. We also have a summer camp, City Sail, which is a fee-for-service activity, but we do have a lot of scholarships, and we work with youth groups, including neighborhood groups. This year, we worked with the Armory, Brotherhood, Sister Soul, KIP, and some others. So the second big prong of what we do is community programs. We have a membership out of Inwood. Across both locations, we have about 450 members. 31 are about Inwood-only members. We have a veterans program that's funded by the VA, and we have a women's mentorship program within our membership. We do lessons and we do group events. And then part of what we do in the community is we do free sailing, or what we call community days. So those are monthly, and we combine those with family days. So where we not just invite our students from our Sail Academy program, but their families out to join us. These were a few of the dates in 2023 that we did those events. So we advertise that with the council member's office, and then with Parks. The biggest growing edge for us over the last 2 years is adaptive sailing, and that's using our boats to sail with people with disabilities who otherwise could not get onto the water. So we adapt our boats and techniques. So this is a picture from one of them. The coordinator is an Inwood resident, and she's also an occupational therapist with the DOE and a Coast Guard captain. We also run the Heroes on Hudson event, a big event down there that we work with Inwood Canoe Club and the VA. We hosted the Impossible Dream, which is a catamaran. So this has been a big part of what we've built, particularly over the last 2 years. Whoops. Some of the partner groups around the adaptive work are here: Visions, Mount Sinai. The biggest partner is the Bronx VA. They're there at least once a month with their folks. So a few pictures. This group on the bottom was Visions, a visually impaired group out on the water. There you get a sense of what it's like, lifting. That's a Hoyer lift, bringing people in and out of the boats. It's very, very intensive. As we mentioned, it's, we use a lot of volunteers and a lot of staff to do this work. So our arrangement, just so people understand, within the parks is that we're a concessionaire, we're a permit. Well, we've been there since 2016. As you know, we were originally under the concession of La Marina, and then that switched in 2020. There was a RFP. We submitted a pretty broad proposal, got a fairly narrow permit. Part of the components of our permit, as you know, is that providing the free community days. We also maintain the public restrooms at the marina site. We do have a designated space in that bathhouse and some storage in the Quonset hut. And then we get to use some of the other spaces on an as-needed basis. We pay a permit fee, and then on top of that, we pay for published rates to rent additional moorings to do the work that we're scheduled to do. So just, just so you know where we're at with the Dykeman Marina closure, it leaves it very uncertain for HRCS in our future. We learned of the closure at this meeting in November of 2022, and we've since been in, conversations with the parks. What we understand is going to be closed for 2 years, maybe less, but that's the official notice for HRCS. A stoppage of 2 years and a startup again is not a possible thing, so we have to figure out other alternatives. I will say we are very committed to the Sail Academy program. So we have been having conversations with our schools that we will continue with them with some kind of alternative programming, and that we are very committed to the adaptive programming that I mentioned with people with the disabilities in those groups. We're trying to find a different location that could meet those needs. The staging or some way to operate while construction is going on is not something that the parks is willing to consider, because they think it will complicate the project and raise the costs. So we are trying to work with them to try to develop some plans, but if we do, it's a contingency plan that we have to come up with, and including the financing and engineering and permitting. So it's tricky. We are researching some other options, like whether we could be out of the canoe club for some part of the time, and we're talking to Julie, who was on here earlier, and her team, and whether there could be some access there, but it wouldn't meet all the requirements. We couldn't do our adaptive program there. And we're also looking a little bit at whether 79th Street, which is also closed down, could be a potential for that adaptive program. So that's kind of where things are at. I'm going to stop and just see if there's any questions or anything there.
Do we have any questions?
Yeah.
No, I'm asking the people present and the people online.
Yeah,
Alexis.
Okay, so I just want to be clear. So this closure is happening because construction's going on, right?
Yes, the closure, it will be happening during the construction, the waterfront construction that is part of, yes, the new pier, and then they'll be doing the marina, et cetera. Yes.
So I should have phrased my question better. I apologize. So how does that affect your funding with the closure?
It's very complicated, as you can imagine. You know, our Sail Academy program is funded by, it's about a $800,000 program across both locations with similar funders. But for that one, you know, for instance, we've been talking to our funders about this, and, you know, keeping our programming is, you know, the goals there, you know, will be okay, right? Things like the adaptive, which is also funded, trying to find an alternative location. We're just building that out, and we just got some great foundations behind it. So trying to find, you know, some alternate locations. So it's a complicated, I'd just say it's a complicated situation. We're still trying to figure out that. And, you know, kind of, we use the boats in, you know, big events and things like that. So there's a lot of implications to not having those spaces for the boats, et cetera. And that's, you know, when you see that our permit period is into this build out, so we don't know, you know, what the next permit would look like. And, you know, so there's just a lot of big questions, and that's sort of why I ended it with, it's very uncertain. It's been a year of trying to navigate it since we learned about it. And we still don't know, you know, it's some of it depends on the fish moratorium and when they can start building, and all that is very hard to plan around with funders, et cetera, as you pointed out. So,
there's a question. What is the estimated start date for the marina, for the Dykeman Marina?
Yeah. So
what is the estimated start date for the Diamond Marina, the Dykeman Marina closure?
Yeah. So the January 2025 is the project start, but there's a fish moratorium. I mean, Parks is probably better at answering these questions for you, you know, and I would probably leave it to Chris, Amy, and them. But from our understanding, there'll be some kind of a fish moratorium in that spring. But since the project is going right now out to bid in January, is my understanding. So they'll know more once they get a contractor. But starting in 2025, the waterfront gets closed, Inwood Canoe Club, the Dykeman Marina, and the piers. And that's when the project starts. There'll be some fish moratorium. The one down at the Gateway project down near our other location in Chelsea is March to June. So there can be no building on the river, no pile driving, no from March to June. My understanding is that's pretty typical, so that July becomes the start date for any water building, but the area would still potentially be shut, you know, still shut down that whole time.
Thank you.
I'm sure we have your email in the chat, I guess, in the list.
Can you put your email on the chat, Robert Burke? Thank you.
Because what I'd like to do is I'm going to send you a database that I use for grants, and I'm allowed to give a free month. And so when you're talking, I'm just worrying about your operating expenses.
Yeah.
So if there's any way I can help by giving you this month to research some grants.
Sure. Well, I appreciate it.
I know what it's like to have something that's closed and you still got to work there, but how are you going to pay the bills when you can't do any programming?
Yeah. Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah.
Any other questions from our members present? Community members online? You had a question? Okay. All right, well, thank you, Robert. Thank you for this. I'm so excited about this program. Looking forward to seeing more programming. I love it. This is the stuff that I did not grow up with. I wish I was a kid now so that I can participate. So if we don't have any other questions.
I'll just thank you so much. And I just say that you have water around this neighborhood that is our biggest park in a lot of ways. And we should continue to think about how to access that safely and equitably and make sure that it is part of, our future. So that's my little plug, and I'll update you all in the spring. And thank you very much for making the time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you in the spring. So if there are no other questions or comments, the meeting is.
I like to make don't I need to make a
We don't-
motion?
we have
to do it on quorum.
Yeah. So the meeting has ended at 8:16. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, community partners, and enjoy the rest of your holiday season.